Welcome to Part of the Solution, because what the world really needed was another podcast, except for this one actually cuts through the noise. Hi, I'm Natalie, your coach, speaker, truth teller, and your favorite no BS friend. Around here, we're talking health, healing, habits, hormones, and how to finally grow a mindset that gets out of your own way. There's no filters, just real conversations that might actually change your life. Welcome back to Part of the Solution podcast. On my Zoom session today, I have a wonderful woman, Elena, who I recently just met at like a dinner mastermind type of meeting here locally where I live. But why don't you just explain a little bit about who you are, what you do, or why people should know who you are?
Well, I don't know if they should know who I am, but it's fun when they do. I mean, there's so many of us out there who are doing work, and I think we draw in the right people. So first of all, Natalie, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure to meet you. Yeah, I was co-hosting a mastermind dinner up in Santa Rosa, my first time up there, and it was really just fun getting to know so many incredible women, and I think you and I definitely connected, and not only over our silver hair journey, but also just the energy and the vibe, and I think that's really the heart of what I do. So I'm an intuitive coach and mentor with a focus on messaging and words, and I help specifically women. I have worked with a few men who are brave enough to go there, but we focus on your visibility, your influence, all through how you explain what you do in a way that comes from your heart versus your mind. And I've been teaching and speaking on intuition and self-mastery for, oh my gosh, decades. I became a coach when I was 25. So I have a long history in sales and in speaking and writing and podcasting since 2018. But I'm obsessed with words and how they can influence and how they can connect and how you just really create your life and your business through the words that you choose. So that's what I do. And it comes through different formats, including sales pages and landing pages and emails. But at the heart of it all, if you can't say what you do to someone when they ask you and you really feel it, it's not just this like elevator pitch, then you need to come to me because we need to help you do that. So you can just
It sounds like I'm in the right spot because this is going to be just a personal masterclass for me today.
Yeah,
Because
let's do it.
everything you said for me personally is yes, that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I am in transition, and I know I shared just a little bit about that at the mastermind of businesses and taking time to retreat and who am I, and I'm going to learn this new thing. And, so I'm in all the transitional phases, and I definitely struggle with like, okay, well, what do I do? What is my offer? Like, once I get talking, I'm good, but what is that like initial pitch? Like I get a lot of people have asking me because I closed my business, like, oh, what are you doing now? And I'm always like, and then it comes out, but never in the way that I want it to say, like it doesn't position me as like a topic expert or, anything like that. It's usually like, well, but, and it's messy. And so I think this is going to be a great topic for today. So
Yeah,
welcome
it's
so much.
great.
Yeah, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here. Your hair, so let's do a side note. Your hair is amazing. I'm definitely going to have to
Thank
make
you.
a clip of this so that people can see like this silver sister of mine. Like mine is still dark. Mine's like black compared to yours almost, like whereas you have got so much silver in your hair. How long have you been growing it out?
Yeah, so I saw my first silver when I was 16, but I covered it for many years. I worked in salons. I was the manager of beauty salons when I was really young, and so it was just very natural because that's what we did. We like why who would I mean, I can't remember seeing one example, even in media, even in like older actresses. Like I don't remember seeing any example. So why would it even enter my consciousness? And
Exactly.
then I'm in the kind of the public eye of my own little world, right? With podcasts and photo shoots and brand stuff and speaking events. So I would always have to plan my coloring my hair around my events. I had to be very strategic, right? Because I got to the point where my hair started growing out so fast. My hair grows really fast that I would color my hair. I would spend hundreds of dollars, sit in the salon for hours and hours, my little self-care time. And then literally 2 weeks later, I'd have silver growing out at the edges. And I'm like, oh, this is just like, I started thinking the thought of like, okay, well, what would happen if, and you said Silver Sisters, and that's kind of a hashtag on Instagram. And so there's a lot of really incredible women who started exploring this too before I did. And I started just like as a plaything, I created a little album on my phone of women whose hair I like, wow, if it could look like that, I would be so happy. And so I did. There was like 3 or 4 women. There was one actually who I'm going to have on my podcast soon. She's phenomenal. She had this like long silver with all these different like black and silver sort of, stripes and however, anyway, I loved it. And I just started like slowly playing with the idea. Now I'm from New York. I grew up in New York. Then I moved to California, all both very visual, like not vain, but like looks are really important, right? And so it's like, between the makeup and the fashion and the hair, it's all part of it. And that sort of broke the structure of my brain, like around that topic. Like, how would I explain? It's kind of like messaging, right? Like, how do I make a story around it that makes sense to me that I can then walk confidently in the world? Because just like messaging, if you own what you're saying so deeply, there's no doubt you have confidence. I guarantee you 90% of the people are going to be like, wow, maybe she's onto something. Like, and I kid you not, like I've had almost daily compliments on my hair from the moment I did it because I never carried it with doubt. Like
Yes.
once I started doing it, I was like, this is what I'm doing. And I really don't know how it's going to come out. And guess what? I can always color it if I want to. So I just never had any like apology around it. And that's the same with messaging. Like if you don't apologize for what you do, they're going to like really feel that. So I started growing it out like 2019, January 2019 was my last time coloring my hair. I remember that very well. And then I didn't know how it was going to start growing out. So I had explored coloring it like blonde, platinum blonde first. Thank God I didn't because it grew out so differently. Like it's very dark in the front and it's light in the back. Like it would have been a disaster. Plus it would have ruined my hair. I'd
Yeah.
never bleached blonde, anything like that. So
What color was your hair to start?
very
What
dark,
color were
like
you doing?
yours.
Very
It's
dark.
very dark. I was like Snow White, like light, very, very porcelain, like light skin. Like I catch a tan for like 2 days and then it just goes away, but very dark, dark hair. And so I thought I would like, because it takes years to grow it out. It really takes years, right? So I thought, okay, let me do a shortcut. And so I did visit a few stylists who were like, okay, here's the process. It's going to be like $2,000 and we're going to dye and color and like maybe it'll take 2 times. And I just sat there going, oh my gosh, I'm going to just lose all my hair. It's not going to be pretty. So I said, okay, I'm not going to do that. And then the pandemic hit soon after and we didn't go anywhere. And for some reason, since I was hosting coaching calls on my Zoom, if for some reason you couldn't really see the grow out, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to
Yeah.
wear hats if I get uncomfortable. And right at the beginning of the pandemic, I was invited to the Mel Robbins show to be a guest expert, like in New York on TV. And my hair was like 3 inches grown out. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I going to go on TV with my hair like that? And so I did it. I went, and as the woman was doing my hair, I'm like, should we spray paint it? Like, what do you think? She's like, honestly, own it. Like, it looks so cool. You're going to inspire so many women. Just do it. And I was like, okay. And so there's all these pictures of me with like my hair 3 inches grown out with like silver roots. So that was kind of fun. So after that, I just let it grow, and it grew out so different than I thought. And at first I was like, do I keep it? Do I not? But I honestly think it works really well with my skin color. It just works well with my eye color. I love it. And I get compliments almost daily because I don't apologize for it. Like I style it. I take care of it. So it's a whole journey. And I did have people in my life who were like, you're going to look so old. I'm like, I'm going to look how I'm going to look, like whatever. Like it's just, but I did process that for a while, like how is I going to be going back to California to Orange County, like where everyone's obsessed with looks. And the more I found that I went and I styled it the way I would, and I just dressed the way I do, and I would get compliments from the exact people who I thought were going to just like look away, and they're like, oh, your hair looks kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but yours looks good. And I totally get that because
I hear that all the time.
it's like such a personal choice. I don't care if anyone does it. Like, do it, don't do it, not my jam. Like, I have my journey with it. You get to decide your life, just like your business, just like your clients, just like anything else. Like, you get to decide how you show up. And the cool thing is I did get even clients because of it, but it wasn't like the hair. It was more like the vibe that I showed up with, right? Like, here I am. This is who I am. I'm not proving anything. I'm claiming my my message, my like if I don't know, it really matched with what I was offering, what I am offering. I'm really offering like show up as the full weird whatever you are you, and I guarantee there'll be people who will vibe with it. And thankfully, there'll be people who don't vibe with it. And that's a really, really good thing in
Yeah.
any business. Like, you want to make sure you're clear on who you're vibing with. So that was my journey, and I absolutely love it. It's really fun. It still looks different kind of every few months. It grows out, and it's like gets a little lighter in some areas, darker in some areas. And it's just fun. I love it. Like, I just turned 50 last year. So I really had to like detach. I'm like, gosh, do I look old? And then I had to explore that. And then so it's all just self-reflection, and I'm really at peace with it. I just don't apologize. And yeah, that's the story. And I know I've inspired women to do it because I've been going to the same like dance class for a decade, and I could see they're like, "Yours just looks so good. I'm going to try it." Like, oh, okay, cool. Like, have fun. Like, I'm not here to, change anyone's mind or do anything. But I think once they see someone like being confident about really anything, people do get that little spark of an idea. Like, oh, maybe I could do that. Maybe I could show up that way.
For
Yeah,
sure. Just like the pictures you were seeing online of those women and their hair, and you're probably
exactly.
in somebody's catalog in their phone in, an album with your hair or, yeah. And to go back to what you were saying, you said you always owned it without doubt. And I think that's what sets it apart. It's not like you just pulled it back in a ponytail and now you just have this frumpy silver hair. Like, you have vivacious hair. Like, your hair is a statement. It's a vibe. It's a movement, like it says something.
Thanks.
And I think the ripple effect of that confidence is doing more for us than we initially set out. Like, again, like, I'm sure you didn't know it was going to turn into a thing, but it's kind of a thing.
Hmm.
And as soon as you said that, carry it without doubt. I've had the same experience. Mine obviously is different than yours in regards to the color or the saturation, but everybody except for one random person was like, "Oh my God, this is so great. I can't believe you're doing it." Just giving you props left and right, really like boosting the ego in a way. You're like, "Oh my God," or like, pats on the back of like, "God, I wish I could do that. I'm just not ready."
Yeah.
And same thing. I'm like, everybody's on their different journey. Like, I was just simply over it. And the power of truly not giving a shit about what it looks like, about what other people think, is a power all on its own.
Totally. I love your hair, by the way. I think the way it's growing out is so cool. And it
Mhm.
probably looks different if you part it differently. And I
Yes.
will say, one of the things, because I'm in marketing, because I'm in sort of this world, I was curious, like, where did this idea of gray hair being horrible and old and, whatever come from? And it was not an accident. Let's just say that. It was very, very intentional in the marketing during the early 1900s, mid 1900s, late. It was very, very, very intentional because it was selling hair color, it was selling an identity, it was selling an image. And any time that they featured gray hair or silver hair or whatever, it was always like this, like, archetype of this, like, crone witch, old, saggy, like, tired, evil looking woman. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that was interesting. Just like the way they sold cigarettes when they did, just like the way they teach us how we're supposed to look at certain ages, just like they teach us how we're supposed to act and behave and dress and not dress, and what lipstick we're supposed to wear and not wear after whatever age. Like, there's so many standards that I felt like I was sort of unintentionally stepping into, and I really goes with my life. There's a lot of things in my life that I've done, including where we live and how we live and how I chose to raise our son, and all these different points of life where I chose not the popular thing, and it created growth and it created expansion. It created a shit ton of like, okay, who is everyone going to think? I definitely had that, which is honest and normal, but it makes you stronger in what you do. And you realize, you start to understand as you go through each one of those expansive journeys, that each choice you make that is counterculture or counter your family culture or counter your neighborhood culture, whatever, right? Like, it becomes more peaceful. Like, and not because I don't find something that to like oppose and just do that. It's really about going internally. And really what I teach deeply, deeply is that women have this incredible GPS that we can navigate with, and it gets covered up and covered up and covered up by everything like the media and people and the way we're raised by whoever, like well-meaning people. Like we just become this set of ideas, and we have to examine each one at a time. And it's a very, like, it's easier to just go with the flow. I promise it's easier on one hand, but like the examined life, the intuitive life, which is what my podcast is called, an intuitive life, because that's really what I'm so passionate about in every area, is the one where you're going to maybe do the thing that feels super uncomfortable. And even when I teach messaging, like I want to, like if we're sitting here and we're going through my framework of how to describe what you do, and it's very different from many other frameworks, we start with the thing you love first. Like, I want to know, what do you love so much that you're like, I just like, this is what I'm born to do. Like, this is my sole purpose, to talk about this thing. And once you claim that, then you can start to create your messaging from there. Because if you don't, and you just ask GPT, if you're like, here's what I want to do, here's my clients, give me my elevator speech, it will, but it's going to be flat. It's going to be energyless. It's going to be one dimensional. And we are not one dimensional. We are multi-dimensional. And so when it comes to like making those choices or creating our messaging and our business, and how do I describe what I do? Well, maybe it's not a sentence. Maybe there's a door that you have to decorate so you understand that the right person will be like, that's my door. I'm going to walk through that door. Once they go through the door, then you give them all the things. But in the initial introduction, maybe it's just that one aspect that piques the interest of the right person, that they step closer, that they open the door, that they walk in, meaning they, sign up with you, whatever. And then once you're inside, then it's like, here's all the other 12 things that I do. But initially, I think people get overwhelmed because they're like, here's the massive basket of all the things I do. And the person's like, I don't have time for that. It's just too much. Like, I want to know, like, can you help me? And what do you stand for? And like, what is it like? What is it in it? What is in it for me at the end of this journey? Am I really going to get what I want? Show me that I can get what I want. Because to get what you want, you go through a lot of steps, not just one thing. And so same with making your decisions, same with like deciding what it means to grow out my hair, the same with deciding how to present yourself. Like you said at the beginning, you're like, I don't know how to describe all the things I do. So I do, how do I do that? And you do it at one point with one starting point. And that's sort of the beginning of owning it so deeply that you are like, I want to tell people what I do. I want to have this conversation. And that's a whole different energy than trying to prove something or trying to be something or trying to represent or perform a version of something you think you're supposed to be. Because who has time for that? Like, we have enough performance in our life. Like, we just need to be clear about what we stand for. And even when it's unclear, it's still good because you're at a change point like you are, right, Natalie? You're like, this is who I was. I think I know where I want to go. I don't know how to get there. Or maybe I'm not even sure where I want to go, but I just want to be here. How do I talk about that? And that's okay.
Exactly.
Like, people want to see that transition.
Exactly.
Because everyone's going through some transition. Everyone. Like, whether you're like, oh no, I'm so clear in this area, I guarantee you there's another area shifting and evolving, because that's how the wheel of our life works. It's not everything changes all at once. Sometimes it does, and that's really scary. But usually it's one or two areas of our wheel that are shifting and moving. And that's how life is, I think.
Yeah. Well, I definitely, even just meeting you at the dinner and looking at you physically, like the hair, the skin, the lip color, the outfit choice, like the way you carried yourself, all of that, like I feel as though I'm a good read on a lot of people for the most part. And just even though it's not like we got time to really interact deeply, you were somebody immediately I was attracted to, not physically, like your vibe, your aura, your energy, like I could feel like, ooh, we are in the same wavelength. Maybe we're not in the same boat because I don't know you, but like I want to be closer and get to know you more because there can be an energy exchange there. And so I feel like even though I didn't get to hear your message, essentially, just from that little introduction and being in the same room, I knew for sure that I would love to interview you because I'm curious about what you do and what you offer. And I think that's what started my podcast. Like, that's why I wanted to start it, is because essentially I'm curious about a lot of things and I knew I could get free information. So it was selfishly motivated at first. And I just want to have a chance to have a conversation with like minded people where we can, vibe off of each other and bounce ideas, or, like, now you're in my Rolodex so that I know I could use you and work with you if I needed that, or refer somebody to that. And I just think you very much put off that. And just your hair alone, for me, as dumb as that sounds, I just was like, yep, like we know each other, like we are a soul sister. We are in that same era. And then just hearing the way that you speak about your job, and already I have like 1,000 questions of like, okay, I want to be your student. Who am I? What's my messaging? Or, I think I'm very much in a transition era, of like leaving this old career. So I think from the get go, for me personally, I always knew, like, I got the best feeling when somebody would express, like, I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your support. Years ago, so I was a dental assistant for 15 years, and patients come in phobic, angry, upset, nobody's happy to be there. So I got really good at making people feel calm, confident in why they were there, what they were doing. And I'll never forget this older gentleman coming in. He hadn't been in years. He had all this dental work done. It took about 6 months, and he came in at the end and hugged us and was like, you literally changed my life, and I couldn't have gotten through this without you guys. And like, just thank you so much. And I was like, oh my God, that's that feeling. Like, that's what I want. And so I've always kept that as like my North Star, and then getting into my other business, I was helping women, and it just kept, the domino effect kept happening. So for me personally, I know that helping people feel better, that's what I want. That, and so I'd love to just elaborate more on that and how you would utilize that with your talents, with your history, and also to piggyback on that, do you feel like your life experiences has like sharpened the tools that you use?
Oh, everything. Yeah, for sure. I think nothing's wasted. I think the journey we each take to discover who we are, like there are some people who we all know who are like, I just want to be a this, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, a
Yeah.
singer. Like we know these people, and it's a beautiful gift. It's so cool. I've always looked at that and I was like, oh, it is amazing. How do you just know?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like the perfect Gemini. I'm like, I want to be a writer, singer, dancer, actress. Like that was sort of my vibe, which I do get to do a lot of those things now. I dance all the time. I write, I sing, obviously not in person, but like I do many aspects of the things that I wanted to do when I was little. But I do think that some people are born and gifted with a journey that is very clear and logical, and a very clear through line that they can just like, they have a plan, they stick to it, they go for it. Even a detour still sort of gets them where they need to go.
Yeah.
Not that many of us though get there. Like I've been interviewing people for a long time. I've been interviewed many times. Like I know a lot of people, so do you. Like very few people have a very straight line. And the I guess the sort of the wisdom of adulthood is like the typical adult has 2 or 3 different careers, like super different careers, which is also statistically shown that is a thing. But also I think life will show us different points to pivot, and we don't necessarily know what's next, and sometimes we have a sense of what's next, but that's not what happens. Like the more we learn and reflect and look back and say, wow, okay, so I had this job, then I changed to that, or like this happened in my life, or I moved and I did that. Like I think I can, because we're meaning making beings, like we have to tell the story. There's always a story. Even if it's a negative story, we're still telling a story. Like if you're like, well, how many jobs have you had? I'm like, well, I had 10 jobs. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And, it means I will never make money and I don't even know. Like, yeah, well, that's my story. That's my story. Or I can say like, well, I have such a cool journey of like, I just sort of followed my interest and curiosity. Like, I started managing a beauty salon when I was like 21 because I knew the software really well. I was very technology focused. And then from there, I went into sales because someone thought I'd be really good at sales. So I'm like, okay. And that honed my sale. Like, I was door to door selling copiers to companies. Like, that honed a certain skill set in me that I knew how to go out there and be like, here's the features. Oh, wait, that doesn't sell. Well, what do they really need? Oh, they need like peace of mind that their copier is always going to work. Okay, we start with that. Like, so you have to learn how to sell in a really great way. It's really about connecting with people. And then from there, I went into like, I got educated even deeper into technology. So I was a network administrator for a few years at a computer school. And I love technology. Like, I had my first computer when I was 12, back when it was like a Commodore 364. If anyone remembers that, back in the same desk as your Rolodex, right? That's a cool little
Yeah.
mention. And then I really loved not only implementing the technology, but teaching it. And so, because I had gotten my degree in organizational psychology, I ended up starting to teach technology and web design back when it was HTML. It was like way back then. And so
Yeah.
that's like started stacking skills in my life. And I ended up being a corporate trainer. That was like the thing I did the longest before I started my own business. Somewhere in there, I also got a coaching certificate because I really like coaching executive within the corporation. And so there's a lot of story in there, but like all those things were like stepping stones. And it gave me such a wide skill set that I can speak to people in the corporate environment. I can sell pretty much anything if I know what I'm selling and what the benefits are and like who it's for. I know how to speak to people who just had a bad haircut and just paid $100 and like, what am I supposed to do? Right? Like, I've gathered skill sets along the way so that when I did start my first business, which was an online baby boutique when my son was born, I knew how to talk about things. I knew how to like take pictures. I just knew. But what I didn't know, I still knew how to figure out because I had put myself in so many environments where I was probably underqualified. Like, when I became a corporate training manager at this real estate school, I was very underqualified. But what I came in with was like passion and enthusiasm. And the woman who was interviewing me, she even told me, she's like, we have so many more qualified, like PhD, curriculum designers, but we really love your energy. And I'm like, wow, that was a good lesson. Like,
Yeah.
literally, I was like in my 20s, I had no business applying for the job, but I got it. And I developed programs, I created new sales trainings. Like, I did all these things because I didn't know I shouldn't. And I didn't know I couldn't. And it created so much skill set so that when I became an entrepreneur, I'm like, I can figure anything out. Like, there's always a resource. There's always someone I can ask. There's always like something I can break and fix. So I think if we look at our lives that way, and it's very easy to look at it the other way, right? Because I wasn't like a born this. Like, I don't know. There was even a minute where I thought I'd be like a pediatrician because I love kids and it made a lot of money. I'm like, thank God, because I didn't do that because,
Thank
I mean,
God.
didn't do it. It wasn't
Yeah.
for me. But I was exploring quite a bit. And to be honest, like, I've had pivots as an adult too, where I'm like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, is there some, like, because all the doubts and all the questions and all the comparisons are still very real. And when things aren't going exactly how you think they should be going, it's very easy to think there's another boat that you should get on that's going to take you somewhere else. And maybe there is, and sometimes there is. And sometimes there is a clean cut and you just burn it down and go somewhere else. But more than likely, it's a shift within yourself that you have to explore. Like, okay, what is needed here?
And is that what you're doing with women? Like, if they hire you, is that part of what you're helping them figure out and piece together?
Yeah, I find a lot of people come to me because they do, like, a lot of people know me as a coach, as a business coach and a messaging coach, but a lot of that becomes like a question about who am I and what am I doing, right? So I have worked with very established businesses doing copy and messaging and websites and things like that. And those are really clear. And there are pivots in those big kind of businesses that are usually more subtle. It's more about an angle, more about a new offer. But when someone's in a big pivot or just starting, which I actually really love. I have a very like soft place in my heart for people who are just starting out on a new journey because I love that energy of like, let's just create something. What are we going to do? I rarely start with the actual words first. We start with their own journey first. Like, I have this whole intake process where we really find out, like, what is it that you want to do? What is it that you're passionate about? What frustrates you? Like, really look around. What frustrates you? How do you like to show up? Like, there's so many platforms and we can't do all the things. I talk a lot, as you might be able to tell. So podcasting is fabulous for me because I can talk as much or as little as I want to. I love to write. I can write for days. So I really love that process of discovery. But when I work with someone, really that first framework is like love, frustration, creation. And so that's where we explore. And sometimes we start with the frustration first piece because you're like almost trying to solve something. And really what we're doing here as service providers is we're solving a problem. And if you don't see a problem to solve, then you're just like a writer who likes to write, or you're like a coach who likes to talk online, but you might not get the client because the client has a problem and they might be able to put words to it. It's a feeling, it's a situation, right? Like if you're a health coach, someone's probably coming to you at a time where they're dealing with something. They've
Yeah.
just been diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. They realize they're like, they want to drop 30 pounds, but they've gained 30 pounds. Like they don't know what's going on. If you're working with menopause or midlife women, like there's certain things and feelings and emotions that women at that stage of life have. And so like I actually had a client, this is really interesting. I had a client who was, she was maybe in her 50s or 60s, and she really wanted to work with women in their 20s. And it was like great. Like she had this niece that she loved, and she loved just younger women. She just loved that mothering energy. But the message was so disjointed because she was trying to guess what a 20 or a 25-year-old is feeling right now and what they needed to be coached on. And every time she tried, she's like, I think it's this. And I'm like, oh, are you sure? Like, let's do some market research. Like, get on the phone with at least 8 to 10 of these women. And she couldn't quite do it because she thought she knew, which is number one mistake. Like, I am always about market research. Like, even when I'm creating a new product, I will get on the phone or a Zoom call with like 8 to 10 people who are in that realm, and I just ask questions and have them tell me stories so I can get the marketing language that they're using, not that I'm thinking they're using, but that they're actually using. So like with you as well, if you were going to, start a new program or an offer or a mastermind or a coaching program and you knew who you wanted to work with, like really felt a calling to work with this kind of person, the first thing you would do is just have a bunch of conversations with them, because we can create in our little silo of our own brain all day long and we're going to just think in circles. Like, and it could be you 2 years ago. It could be you 5 years ago. Like that's a lot of times what like coaches tend to do, because they become passionate about
Yeah.
something that they've just learned. And they're like, wow, I just hit this point. I want to help others. Like you really want to help others. Well, okay, with what? There's so many things you can help people with. So we
Yeah.
really start that. Like we start with, okay, let's get a sense of the topic that you want to talk about and let's talk to them. Sometimes I actually hop on the calls too, so I can hear it. But a lot of times I don't have to, because we prepare the questions. I have a set of questions to use, but also like pepper in other questions that just come up naturally. And then once you have that, you have like maybe like 7 or 8 hours of this beautiful, rich, real information from the exact people who you want to work with. Why are you going to spend the next 6 months guessing and creating a program that you have no idea? Like it's not brain science. Like we're not learning, the 10 steps to like heal a brain, whatever. And obviously that doesn't mean anything, but like if you're helping someone with a specific issue, you want to know what they're thinking, like at 8 p.m. at night as they're putting the kids to bed, or when they wake up at 3:38 every morning for the next, for the last month. They're like, what is happening to my body? Like, who am I even? Like, they're saying things and they're thinking things that's what if they see that on a sales page, they're like, oh, she is in my head. She knows what I'm thinking. That's who she gets me. And like, I really want to connect with her, along
Mm.
with the energy, along with the vibe, along with the branding and all the other pieces that we have to do. But if you can't nail that, and if you don't understand it, how are you going to help her? If you just think it's because she needs to eat more protein or because she needs to drink more water, great. She can get that from Google. Like she needs to know
Yeah.
that you feel her, that you're so clear on what her pain point. And again, like, oh, I hate pain point marketing. Yeah, but how else are you going to know what the person needs to resolve? Like,
Yeah.
if
How are
I'm
you gonna
hurting,
provide the service that fixes the
yeah,
need? Yeah.
exactly. If you as my coach, like I've interviewed several coaches over the years, many coaches I've hired many coaches over the years. And sometimes I've hired coaches out of panic, like, oh my gosh, like I need someone to solve this for me. Those really never worked out. The ones that I really took time to understand were the ones who took time to understand me and asked me the questions and really took time to gauge, like, can they actually help me? And there's been times where, and I've said this to clients too, like, I actually don't think this is the right solution for you right now. Here's what I could recommend for you if you want me to recommend another coach, that's great. Here's what I think would be a great first step for you. And then in 6 months, let's talk again, because here's a simple solution I see that's not a high level coaching or even messaging. Like, you really need to spend time. Like, if you hire me as a messaging coach and you're not willing to do the marketing calls, I really can't help you. If you're too scared to get on those calls, or if you have a real like procrastination around it, it takes you 6 months, then we're not going to even get to the part. We're going to guess. We're going to like throw a dart. Like, we're not going to get that place where, because what happens in the marketing calls, and they're really fun to do actually once you start doing them, you walk away, you're like, oh yeah, I know that's what I want to do. Or you might be like, wow, that was not what I expected. Like, they were saying something and they all said the same thing. Well, guess what that same thing is going to be? That's your tagline or
Yeah.
your header or your email subject line or your core pillars. You're going to get your core pillars out of that, and you're going to understand, like, I don't know what to talk about on social media. Guess what? Talk to 10 people. You'll find out what to talk about real quick. you know?
So where do your clients find these people to essentially interview or talk to find out, what their issues are so that your client can find their core
Yeah,
messaging?
it just depends on who they are. I guarantee you, like, you can step into a few communities that you might know, or even other similar practitioners on the, like, maybe a complimentary service. And they're like, I really want to work with these kind of women. Do you know anyone who might be willing to get on a call for 20, 30 minutes? And I'm happy to exchange like a little coaching for them or something like that. And you'd be like, I've never had anyone say no to me because they don't want to. Usually it's a time thing, or like, I'm so sorry, I was busy. Like, I really want to. And I'm like, oh, I'm already done with that, but I'll keep you for next time. People want to talk about their, like, even the ability to get on with someone who's got a coaching mindset and asks really good questions of them. They're like, at the end of every marketing call I've ever done or my clients have done, they're like, thank you so much. I didn't even know I needed to say that out loud. Or like, wow, I totally see things differently now. Or like, wow, I have a whole other idea. Like, it's a good conversation with someone who's listening and
Yeah.
paying attention to you for 20, 30 minutes and asks you some really good questions. I guarantee you they will get something out of it. And if you approach it with that energy of like, hey, I'm having these conversations, I feel really drawn to working with this is like, you're sort of my ideal client. Would you be willing to give me 20, 30 minutes? And like I said, no one's really ever said no, because people want to connect, they want to talk. And even if it's just like coffee over coffee, and you grab your little notepad or record it, you probably know women who are, or men, whoever you want to work with, like, you probably know or know someone who knows who, even if you just get five, I would say it's a minimum of five. I'd love it if it was 8 or 10, and just take a week or two and have those conversations. And that will save you a year maybe, like, of trying things that you think are going to work that won't. So you got to like courage up, take a little time, make a list, and really have this conversation. Record them, of course, get permission, record them, transcribe them, and then you can put that into AI and say, here's these conversations. Don't make anything up. Give me like the themes that you see here, the top 4 themes. That's a really cool way to use AI to congregate information that you've already gotten, versus telling it to tell you what it thinks your ideal clients want, because all they're doing is pulling from what already exists. But your people are dynamic. So I think that's a really great place to start.
Yeah, that's really great advice to do. Even like, again, I'm going to keep referring back to me because of this
Mm-hmm.
pivot.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like already I'm like, God, I got to get on the phone with these
Yeah.
people and start
Yeah.
recording these phone calls and
Yeah.
see what their need is. Because, yes, like, I feel like me 5 years ago is my ideal client. Like, I know that it's somebody who's here, or, and that believes in coaching and wants to change and has that growth mindset. But exactly, to piggyback off what you were saying earlier, like, people come to you for messaging, but then it expands into so much more. And so I think a lot of people, myself included, gets bogged down in like, okay, well, what am I? What is my core offer? But how can I also be like, by the way, I do these 10 other things, or these 10 other things will happen in addition, because that's just the natural course of how it goes. And like you were saying earlier, once you know something and you're educated on it, like your job in sales, or like I used to think in the dental field, like I could sell a dental treatment to anybody because I just knew it and I knew they needed it and there was just no going around it because I knew so much about it and I believed in it. And so there wasn't anybody I couldn't talk them into is the wrong way to say it. But like there was just they weren't going to say no. And with eyebrows, same thing. Like rarely were people like, I'm going to think about it. Most people were like, absolutely, that's what I want. Let's
Well,
do this.
that's that you said a really key thing, which is you believed in it. And to be like, people are looking for an expert. They're looking like they're coming to you because they don't know. They're
Mhm.
coming to you because they want you to guide them. And if you can't guide them, like the worst thing to do is on a coaching call is like, what do you want to talk about today? Like, I don't know. Like I came to you because you're the expert. Like, tell me, what should I be thinking about right now? Okay, great. Let's. And you mentioned something really interesting too, because you 5 years ago was on a journey, right? And so what another thing that's really important to understand that's part of messaging is the client journey. Like when I had a membership for 7.5 years, I've had people who joined right away and I had people who joined years later. And I would always ask, why did you join? I've been watching you for years. I wasn't ready, but now I am, and this thing happened. And like, so it's important to understand your client's journey, where they're starting and what they're willing to do at that point. What is their pain? What are they going through? Because that person, you 5 years ago, has a very different perspective now. The things
Yeah.
you'll invest in, the things you spend your time doing and thinking about, the reference of experience and breadth of what you've been through during that time, it has changed. So maybe at that time you were only open and willing and had the capacity for like some kind of service that was relevant to you then. But 2, 3 years from then, you're like, dude, I need like a coach to like go in there, and I'm willing to pay $5,000 or $10,000. Like I've had clients who had $50,000 packages. 50,000, $100,000 packages. And I remember coming in, I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. How do they do that? But the people they were working with were making multiple millions of dollars, so that a $50,000 investment for a coach for a year, the specific kind of coach, was like, great, let's do it, because they're coming in with a certain they've already done all the things. Like they don't need to do more things. They need a perspective shift. They need someone to look at their business and say, okay, this is the bigger picture. This is what is happening. We don't need to give you 10 more tools. We don't need to tell you to do a bunch more things or wake up at 5 a.m. or cold plunge. You know all the things. You need a higher level investment and a higher level eyeball on your life and your business so that you don't burn it all down tomorrow because you're so frustrated. Different conversation. Like it was a very different message for her to sell, like this particular client I had, versus another client I had who were selling like a very low price membership, so that it was all about how many eyeballs can we get on this person and how do we get her on enough podcasts and really key in on the repetitive key messages. And like, so it's a different approach. Just like, so the client journey, like for that $50,000 program my client sold, like 10 years ago, that person who's in her circle wouldn't have been able to do it, but now they are. And then, so she needs to be able to talk to them in this stage of life. She's not talking about the pain points of starting a business. That would totally not be relevant for her people. She's talking to the pain points of the person who has it all, who has the team, who feels the pain of that, who has so much responsibility that they can't breathe when they wake up in the morning sometimes at the thought of not making money. They are trying to figure out why they're still unhappy when they're making that money. They're trying to figure out why their spirituality feels like an afterthought. Like
Yeah.
that's who they're talking to. And if I can't get into that brain and like really understand it, I'm never going to talk to the right person. And so at every single level, if you don't understand what they're struggling with, what they're thinking about, what their life is like in a 360 degree, then you're going to miss it. And they're going to go to someone else because you don't feel like the person who sees them. You're just trying to sell them something and you're just a transaction. And that's at every level, whether it's a $25 thing or a $50,000 thing. If you don't understand, you don't understand.
It sounds like in your coaching program, just so I get this right, like
Yeah.
to find out who is their target audience
Mm-hmm.
is going to be like first and foremost. Like what is it that they coach and who are they coaching to?
Mm-hmm.
And that is basically, not basically, but that is what you're helping people discover within themselves.
Yeah, what is the transformation that you're providing to who? Like the process that you'll create around it is great, but they don't need to know how many modules are in your course. They really don't need to know that. They need to know that you can help them. And once they're like, "Oh, I believe she can help me." Okay, now tell me. How much is it now? Like, "Oh, I forgot to ask. How much is it?" Like
Yeah.
that's really the vibe you want to get to. You want to whatever however you're selling, whether it's through Instagram and carousels or emails or live coach, live sales calls or whatever. Like you need to be able to really have that depth of understanding and really speak to it. So if you don't understand it first, how are you going to get your messaging? Like it doesn't matter what your web page says because you really don't get it yet. And that's okay because we all start somewhere. And then sometimes your client evolves and so do you. So you're like
Yeah.
changing it, you're adjusting it. And maybe there's still parts of your business that do honor that, but it's not like one-on-one call. It might just be like a checklist they need, or it might be some like a private podcast series that really helps them just understand that they even need support in this area. But if once you understand them, you will grow. Because I've been, like I said, my first, coaching client came when I was like 25 or 26 years old. And I didn't know what I didn't know. I was still able to help. I was like, oh, wow. Like, it was so cool how I thought I could help. And I did. And I really, really did. But I would approach it totally differently now. But
Yeah.
still, I was very enthusiastic and I was very excited and I did a good job.
Have you seen a trend in the way people buy, like the sales psychology over the year, like 10 years ago versus now? Like, how do people like to buy? Do they buy from
Huge.
emails, calls, online?
I think all of the methods still work. Like, I
Mhm.
don't think anything's dead. What I do think has changed dramatically was discernment in the like public at all, because there's so many people who are much more aware of coaching, much more aware of access to information, much more aware of
What do you mean by discernment?
like if they're looking at some maybe like when I launched my first course and someone saw it, they didn't know they were being sold to yet. Like they were just like, oh, okay, she's talking on this video, oh cool. And at the end of the video I'm like, so if that really landed, I have this thing, come on in. And they're like, oh, I want to do that. And now they're like, okay, she's about to sell me something. 2 minutes in, no, bored, next. Like there's just so much coming at us. Like my very first clients, like years ago, it was like I knew where they were coming. Like I knew them because we were in a group together. And now between fate, like all that didn't exist. When I started my first online business, no social media. When I started my coaching business, there was just Facebook. Instagram hadn't come out yet. And most of my sales happen in like Facebook groups or events that I went to in person or emails. Email was okay back then, but I think it was more like intimate then. And I actually think the pendulum swung back again now to it being more intimate. I think the function of how you create an online business is still exactly the same. I guarantee you there's still people making money with webinars and podcast courses and all kinds of things, but they're
Yeah.
doing it consistently really well. They've refined it over years. But there are people who are pivoting. Like I think recently there was like two huge names in the online coaching industry who stopped their podcast. They were multi-million-dollar podcasts and decided to do something else. That's their journey. It doesn't mean podcasts don't work anymore. It just means they're ready for a different aspect of their business. Like one went into super high-end 7-8 figure business coaching, and the other one I think focused on, so from what I see so far, she's focusing on Pinterest. I'm like, oh, interesting. I don't even think about Pinterest, but it's still there. Like, so I think everything works. It has to work for you. But I think buying behavior, because we're so inundated, we literally are like, I mean, it's documented that our attention span has definitely shrunk.
Like, yeah.
We
Yeah.
are very much scrolling for solutions sometimes. And so we can buy very quickly for some things, like a lipstick or whatever. And other things are like, I'm not sure, I'll come back to it. Or you're thinking about it. And as you're thinking about it, you're already scrolling to the next thing. So it's really important to understand that. So I do see people gravitating to things that are different, like Substack, or really going all in on something that like a podcast, long form, short form. I don't know. I went all in on podcasting. I've been doing it since 2018, but now I've added interviews. So it feels different for me. I started Substack a while ago. It's not growing that well, but I do know people who are like, they have a huge audience, they move over, they love it, and all of a sudden it's like super growth. So I think anything can work. It has to be one, really aligned with what you want to do, how you want to express yourself. Like I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with social media, with Instagram, because there's usually 1 week a month. I just realized, like, where I'm like, and I want to hide, like, and so like I don't go face to camera. Like, I realize it usually happens around a certain week every month. Where I'm like, don't look at
Mm.
me, I'm hiding. Like,
We call
oh,
that your
interesting,
luteus
right?
maximus days.
And then there's other weeks where I'm like,
Yeah,
aha, here I am, look at me. Like, and then I want to hide again. Like, so I do
yeah,
have this sort of intuitive relationship with it. But even with that, I've been told, like, oh my gosh, your social media is so on point. You're on it. I'm like, really? I'm just kind of winging it every day. But I wing it consistently. And I'm really
yeah,
not winging it because, and I think at this stage of our lives, we don't really wing anything. We have enough depth and wisdom and experience to know we're really not winging it. We're pulling from so much. Like, we're not just like, okay, go on stage and talk about how to restart an engine when it dies. I'm like, I don't know, push a button. Like, I have no wisdom to pull from there. I'd call my son. I'm like, all
yeah.
right, tell him how to do it. But anything else in this realm, like, it's just coming from me tuning in and tapping in and pulling examples that I think are relevant and just speaking from the heart. Like, I don't have a script. You don't have a bunch of questions prepared. Neither do I. Like, we're just kind of in it. And I think people can sense that. So buyers are so inundated that with AI, with is this real? Oh my gosh, I don't know. I thought that was a cute bunny jumping on a trampoline, but it's not real. So I think authenticity has always been a thing. It's one of those words that sort of like, I don't want to talk about it ever again. And plus I need to do it. But you feel like if you're loving something and if you're doing it with enthusiasm and consistency over time, it's gonna grow. And if you're not giving it enough time to grow, I think that is a different thing. People expect things to work a lot faster now, which is, it's good because you can provide solutions that do certain things pretty quickly. Like, I can give you a checklist of my framework and you can sit there and do it alone. You might get some decent things and I can give you the questions for the marketing, whatever. Like, all those things I can provide as a resource. But to go deeper is going to take more effort and more time and more thoughtfulness, more testing, because that's what marketing is. So I think buying behavior, it definitely changes, and I don't do a lot of research on it. I do hear things, like, because I do follow some people who are pretty good at sort of trending that kind of thing. But the people that I've been following for a long time, especially one mentor who I started working with many years ago, and I just heard a podcast of him talking, and he really sort of reiterated this. He's like, AI content is just not that good, and we know it. It's a huge distraction for a lot of people who are using it to create content, which is a mistake. I agree with that as a copywriter and messaging person. Like, please don't replace your voice, your brain, your wisdom, your thought, your experience. Like, let it organize things for you. Let it create a list. Let it give you a recipe. Let it congregate data and give you like the 5 top points. Great. Let it transcribe your podcast and give you the 3 talking points. Fabulous. But do not use it to create original thoughts, because it's not original. It's just not like blank. It's not original thoughts. It's coming from a pool of a massive index of other people's stuff. That's what it's going to come out. It's going to spit out
Yeah.
that, and unless you're like, here's this, give me 5 versions of this. Okay, still sort of okay, but you're still not like it. Like, I remember writing for like my blog back when I blogged, or even for a podcast. I remember getting this tip, and it was great. When you're writing a title, write at least 10, if not 20 or more versions of it from your own brain, because the first few are going to be okay. By the 10th one, you're like, oh, okay. Because why? You're feeling it in your body. You're like, ooh, you
Mhm.
felt something. If you feel something, they will feel something. If you felt
Yeah.
nothing, and if you just let AI spit it out, it's nothing. So I think we need to always respect the buyer, always. Please, like, we're smart, we're capable, we have eyeballs and a heart and ears. Like, I can feel when someone's not really there. Even when you're on a call with someone, you're like, are you distracted? Like, we can feel it. We can hear it when
Oh,
someone's doing,
absolutely.
because we're human. AI won't care. Like, hi, are you still there? Like, because you paused, whatever. But you're like, hey, girl, I can totally tell you're distracted. How about we talk later? Or like, oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. I was scrolling, or I was just, looking out the window. I don't know. So, but that's a beautiful thing. And I think I'd rather have 5 intimate, authentic connection clients versus a bunch who, and there's a time and place for like mass sort of distribution of your stuff, especially sort of on Instagram with reels, you want more eyeballs. But do we just want eyeballs? Or do we care like if we get 100 likes? No, I care if I get like 3 people who are like, ooh, I really felt when you said that. Tell me a little bit more about this thing that you're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd rather have 3 of those. I've even hosted workshops where they're like 2 people. And I'm like, let's do it. These are 2 amazing people. What if I can really help them today? I wanted 10 or I wanted 20, but there's 2. It doesn't mean they're less
Yeah.
meaningful or less valuable. And if I just blow them off, how sad. So that's how I take it. Like I really think intimacy is still the biggest differentiator that you have. Even if you're selling on a large scale, you can still be a human person creating. So
Mhm.
that's what I see.
Yeah, I think people are definitely craving something smaller, more intimate, more real, in person, like all of those things. People definitely want them because then you can connect hearts, like that's how I want to connect. I don't want the surface level. I don't want to be in a group of 200 people on a webinar where like none of my needs can get met. Like you were saying, you can find that on chat or you can find that online or, like for me, the solution is more like in depth, like personal one on one connection. Again, another reason why I love podcasting and interviewing people because I can get more information and feel a genuine connection. And that's really what I think a lot of people crave is that one on one time. Like, I highly believe in coaching. I'm in a 6-month coaching program right now. I'm in awe with the coaching like every week. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Something new, like how can I put that into my business or the way I mother or my husband, like whatever. And so I think people really crave one on one, a real conversation, as opposed to some BS that AI spit out. Like you said, there's a time and a place for it, but original ideas. I heard a great quote yesterday that said, always remain interested and always be interesting. And I was like, oh, that speaks to me 100, like that is exactly what I'm a sponge. I want to learn new things all the time. I know a little bit about a lot of stuff.
Same.
And I've, like school's never out. I'm always learning something. I'll learn something from this podcast. I'll definitely hit you up and be like, what about this question? Or, and to me, like closed mouths don't get fed. I will always ask. I will always, and even if I get rejected, I'm like, okay, well, on to the next, or, whatever that may be. So I love that authenticity that you are putting out there with your offers and what you offer to people. And already just hearing what you're saying, I'm like, oh, she knows she's the real deal. Like she is selling with integrity, with potency, essentially, behind what you're saying.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I receive that. It's awesome. Yeah, and I do think the more conversations you have, the more you get inspired. I think 1 + 1 equals way more than 2. So I'm sure you'll walk away with one idea. Even sometimes being asked a question, I can see things in a new way that I hadn't thought of before. So I think that really speaks to that marketing conversation. So, if you have any hesitation about the marketing conversations at all, like please do them. I've been doing them for many years. They never fail to give me insight into the thing that I like, because I'm a writer, I can sort of feel like, oh, I'm so intuitive. I'll just know. Like I have tried that. And to some degree it's okay. Like it works because I'm also not pulling from nothing. But I think, like you said, people evolve and shift and they have so many resources now that we don't want to just make a lot of assumptions about the person we're helping. And again, even for me, like because I've been doing this for so long, it's very easy to think like, oh, I just know. No, but if I have a new thing, I did marketing calls all last summer for a new program that I'm doing, and I was like, oh, wow. Some of them are saying the exact same word, like words or phrase. It was fascinating. I'm
Mm.
like, okay, I really think I'm onto something. And I think I need to make a few pivots because I feel like I was like they were a lot further ahead than I assumed in terms of their own reflection on this topic. Like, okay, I think this might even be a different offer. So I learned a lot
Yep.
about it because then I'd made so many assumptions about it, which felt good. But I was like even more happily surprised that I could still like, okay, I'm going to change a lot of things about this because they don't need like a lot of the elements that I was going to put in. They really just want, to, and they, none of them wanted a one-on-one. They all wanted a group situation. I was like, oh, interesting. Like I thought I would think, gosh, they're so busy. They just want a one-on-one on their own time, but they all wanted to be part of community. Yeah, I'm like, okay, fascinating. Easy question for me. I don't have to think about it anymore. They all want this. I can offer one-on-one as an upgrade later. It's an option. Because if you were like, it depends on the timing, but all of them were like, I just want community. I just want to be like in circle. I just want to be with women again. I just want to talk about things again. So it's really cool to get that. And yours might be totally different. They might all say like, no, I don't want it. It's very private. I just want this kind of support or like, I just need something like send me something. I can do it on my own time. It depends on the offer, right? So I think it's a super valuable thing to do. Yeah. If you take
Well,
one
and
thing, do that.
I think too, for myself, I value community. I value one-on-one coaching. I value like in person or a deeper connection. Like for me personally, I like a lot of hand holding. Like
Yeah,
I'm hiring you as a coach. I want to utilize everything I can so that I can put that into who I am, how I practice who I want to be, and then what I can put out there in the world. So I always want to do both. I'm like, I want to do one on one and then graduate into this community or, like, because I like to be supported. I like to check in. And I don't know if you feel the same. So I grew up in the same town that I live in
mm,
currently. And I don't have a lot of entrepreneur
mm,
friends or people who are thinking beyond their 9 to 5 and what's happening right there in front of them. So I forge a lot of friendships online or with people that I've interviewed or people that I'm in their coaching program because I don't have a lot of that right in front of me. And I very much believe like, don't hang out with boring people. Like, don't, like I want to be inspired by my friends. I want to be motivated by people that I know, but I also know there's different groups for that. And so I love the online community for that. So that is personally like what I'm always looking for because I think that serves a purpose that we don't necessarily have within our personal lives or our families or friendship circles.
for sure. Yeah, I think that's a huge thing if you're building something to be surrounded by other people who are building as well. Not the same exact thing necessarily, but within the right, space because we all will doubt ourselves and we'll all question ourselves and we're all like, gosh, maybe I could just go pull espressos at Starbucks and call it a day. We'll have our moments. But if you're
Absolutely.
sharing the journey with someone, which is why I do love group coaching, I've hosted it for many years and I had a membership because I love it so much. Um, because we just come to the space and we have these conversations. And what do we all want to know? We're not the only one experiencing this. There are people who are, having a similar journey. We all share, we can laugh about it, we can lighten it. Shame does not do well in the light of sharing and airing things. So not that every situation has to be shared and, all shames have to be sort of aired out, but I think we do carry shame around things that like we're not far enough, we're not making enough money, we don't know how to do this. We're like, gosh, shouldn't I already know? Like once you hear other people say, you're like, oh, okay, not that serious, folks. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not that serious. We don't have a major emergency here. We just have a little bit of a mindset, thing that we need to just give ourselves grace for. It's okay. And that really helps you move forward. And I think being in that community of people who are similar, and it actually is important to be like if you're looking for business coaching, it is important to be around people who are having similar, like I explained with that client who, like, if she has a person in there who doesn't have the same sort of issues going on around in their business, it's going to be very frustrating for the person who does. And they're like, wait a minute, I thought this community was going to be people like who are going through similar situations. That's where there's like grief groups, and there's, all kind of groups with people who are experiencing the same things at the same time, because we want to know we're not alone. We want to brainstorm. We want to have ideas. So that to me feels like a really powerful thing that you said. And to crave it and to want it and to honor it and to invest in it is a gift to yourself, because like you said, the people around us don't always necessarily want to talk about the landing page for 2 hours or why you're so excited
No.
about your new program. We're like, okay, I don't know what that is. Even still, even as huge as the coaching industry is, even as huge as digital courses are, like, it's still pretty new for most people. It's really fun to hear people in my life going like, I just built this landing page for my book. I'm like, oh, let's talk. Yay, let's talk.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so excited.
It's part of what lights you up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just this morning I was at a spa downtown having a consultation, and we were talking about SPFs. And I looked at her and I said, well, listen, when I purchase things, it depends on what I'm purchasing, whether I'm rich or I'm poor. Like basically, do I need to spend $100 on SPF, or can I just get this? And she looked at me and she was like, oh, I'm always thinking the same thing. And immediately I was like, oh, thank God. Where she wasn't going to judge me and be like, well, I'm a healthcare provider, so I think the $100 SPF is the one you should go with. And she very much was like, I totally get it. So immediately I was like put at ease. So I think that's just like an easy example of like, we all want to be heard, listened to, and validated with like your struggle, or you're like, should I? Or, like there's, I think in the entrepreneur space and the coaching space, there's always a little bit of self-doubt of like, is this the right thing? Am I the right coach? Like, but you're right. There's so many people who aren't in this world. And I think because I'm online and I'm in this world, and that's a lot of my algorithm, I'm like, everybody is coaching. Everybody, but like, they're probably not. And there's still a good amount of people out there who need and want the service. Me being one of them,
For sure. And I've worked with many coaches over the years, so it's not just a one and done. Like sometimes, sometimes you hire a coach for a very specific thing, like for me, for messaging. And sometimes you just want like a life coach because you're in a major transition so, I mean, it just depends. It depends on where you are, what you need. So wherever you end up, Natalie, I think you're going to be so thoughtfully like, thinking about what you want to do. And I can just tell you're going to like figure out exactly what you're pivoting into. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of a pause to really give yourself the space to do nothing for a bit and to really like let that part of you bubble up, like, oh, I keep thinking about this thing, let me explore that a little bit, like explore that curiosity, because by the time you get to a messaging coach, you want to have some clarity to start with. Like you want to have some piece of clay to start molding, and versus like, I just want to be a coach, I don't know what kind. Like, what's my message? I don't know. What's your message? I'm not going to tell you. Like, we need to co-create this thing. So there's this place where, are you ready for that? So you're like in the process of getting ready, and I'm excited to see where you go and what you do. And I love that you're still having conversations, because that's where you get ideas, and that's where you start like hearing that little inner whisper from your intuition saying like, okay, this is part of it. We don't know how yet, but this is part of it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've committed to this year, basically not working, enrolling in this program, not committing to a lot of things, and just really trying to figure out what it is so that I can hone in on whatever this zone of genius is, whatever all of this is that I've got going on, that I've accomplished in my life. How do I then turn this into something that can help others? I know it will help. I believe in myself. I've been through it. I've been through the trenches, and I'm very happy in my life and where I am and who I'm becoming along this journey. But yeah, the place where I get wrapped up and caught up is like, okay, well, how do I turn that into a business? Like I can talk about it, but how do I? So I guess in a way, like, I always hire out for tech, like, like like I'm not creating my own website. That is not my zone of genius. Like, I want to be the doctor who comes in gloved up, ready to go. and not those other things because I know for those tasks I'm going to delegate out.
Right.
It's not worth the time. It's not worth my time to do those things when I know that I could just hire out for those and they would get accomplished because that's their zone of genius. Like when it comes time for me to figure out and hone in exactly what this business is, my messaging, I now know who I will be contacting.
Amazing. Yeah, it'd be really fun. And I think, yeah, the fact that you're giving yourself time and space is very important because we don't want to rush it either. And if you have the capacity for like taking a little time for yourself, do it because I find that's where like the really fun, engaging topics sort of bubble up and you can start to explore them and see if they stick. Because sometimes it's just
Yeah.
exciting for the moment, but tomorrow you're like, not so much. So,
I have definitely felt those, like, "This is what I should do," and then the next day I'm like, "Oh, I don't know,"
yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I will say having this time, it's uncomfortable, like, there's instability and uncomfortableness that I'm not used to, so I'm a fan of pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. I'm a fan of, like, starting over and rebirth and all of that, but it's not without moments of doubt or shiny object syndrome or imposter syndrome or like, do I know what I want? Is this what I want to do? Do I want to just stay at home and raise these babies? Or, like there's the hamster wheel is always going. But I think that's also just part of the entrepreneur mind and the journey
For
for
sure.
sure.
And you can totally document this journey and share it as you go if that's your vibe. Some people don't want to do that. Some people want to sort of like, this is what I went through and here's the lessons I got. Some people are very comfortable sharing in the messy middle and they're like, and I still don't know. And guess what? I'm gonna go take this class and I don't know. And I'll let you know how it goes and create like sort of intimacy that way. And that's a very natural thing. And I think both are okay. Regardless, you should document it, your journey somehow, because this will be part of the story. Like everything is part of the story. And the struggle of it, the discomfort of it, the growth of it, the fun of it, it'll all be wherever you land, it'll be part of the story that got you there. And that's what people want to know. Because if you do end up helping, let's say, people in transition or pivot, like who just closed a business and want to start something new, for example, not that you
Mhm.
have to do that, but you'll have a documentation of the emotional ride you're going on so that you can start to feel like, okay, this is who I want to work with, because they're going through this ride. So, and a lot of health coaches are born from illness, to be honest. I've seen a lot of it.
Oh, yeah.
Nutritionists, health coaches, they went on their own journey, their own struggle, their own healing, their own education, and then they're like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like that's
I
just
think
how
on
it
the
is.
job training is always the best
Yeah, exactly. And it's so
for
it's
sure.
so like real. And people can feel it. It's all rolled into one. So you're exactly where you're meant to be. And, don't try to get somewhere you're not yet. Just be where you are and you'll get where you need to go.
Talk to me a little bit about the Mel Robbins show.
Oh gosh. That was let's see. So I was still in my coaching business. I was divine self-care, mentor, and I had a membership for, like I said, 7.5 years. I had my divine self-care podcast, or it was actually divine meditations and musings. And I did a lot of podcasts and speaking around women and self-care practices, how to build a business around your life, how to structure your business so that you're first on your calendar, how to prioritize, lots of somatic movement. Well, it wasn't really called somatic at the time. It was more like movement practices to heal. I had a very successful magic morning practice process that I would teach for many years. And one day, out of the blue, after showing up for a long time, I got this email that I actually thought was a joke. And it was a producer of the Mel Robbins show. And they're like, we found you on YouTube. And I had just a few videos on YouTube. I had one professional video that I had done in California many years ago, and it was still there. And like I had just all these random things on. I didn't even work on my YouTube channel. I just happened to connect it to my podcast and a few things that I posted. And they're like, we found you on YouTube. We're looking for a self-care expert to come in and be a guest. And I'm like, what? Like, I actually got up. I'm like, wait, what? Hold on, let me read
Yeah,
this again. Like, what just happened? And I've had a lot of really cool opportunities like that. This probably was the biggest where I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And like, I'm like, no one was home. Like, I have to tell somebody what is happening. And I'm like, okay, is this even real? I double check the email. Like, is this some kind of spam? Like, what is happening?
for
So I
sure. Yeah,
emailed
you
back.
think it's a joke.
Yeah, I emailed back. I'm like, wow, thank you so much. I'm very honored. Like, I am very excited. I'd love to hear more about this. Oh, no, he was like, can you hop on a chat this afternoon? And I'm like, yes, I am available anytime right now. Like, I'm home. Here's my number. And then within a few minutes, it rings. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, compose yourself, you know?
Yeah, for
And I got
sure.
on with this producer, and he was so nice, and he was so sweet, and he was so complimentary, and just like, this is what would happen if you said yes. Like, we'll fly you out. You'll stay here. This is how it goes. Like, he just gave me all the stuff, and this is what we're looking for. We help you sort of script the segment and like all those stuff. And I'm like, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, is this happening? And yeah, so I said yes, but I already had a vacation plan in California. So we literally, like, as a family, had to fly out to California. I left California, went to New York, came back afterwards. So like I took this little bubble of time on my own, and I'm like, what is even happening right now? Can I handle this? Do I have the capacity? Like, am I going to just burn out? Like, what's happening? Is my electrical system going to fry? Like, all these things that I knew because I taught them to my clients. Like, how do you
Yeah.
handle the big R? Are you ready? And I was like, I think I'm ready. Like, I'm going to do it. And so I was like literally coaching myself every minute until and during and after, because your brain automatically is like, well, what if the flight gets canceled? Maybe you just get the flu, and maybe like all these self-limiting things that are easier to do than just do the thing. And yeah, as soon as I did it, as soon as I said yes, I coached myself every minute of the day. Like,
Mhm.
this is meant for you. They found you for a reason. You're going to be okay. Like, it's going to be, what am I going to wear? Like, my
Yeah.
hair, like, what am I going to do? And I just like, I was so present for the whole thing. It was like live wire, I'm like, oh, I feel calm. I'm okay. My best friend who lives in New York surprised me by getting a ticket, and she was in the audience. I'm like, oh my God, like, this is
Did
crazy.
he have like a live
It
show?
was it was
I
recorded.
don't
It
know.
was the Mel Robbins TV show. It got canceled right when the pandemic hit. Like, I think I was one of the last shows that was recorded.
Love
And
that.
but I did it, and I was like so proud of myself. I was beyond, like, I did it. I wore bright yellow. Like, the other expert who was there also wore yellow, so we were like totally in sync. And Mel Robbins was like, the only time I got to see her was when, like, I literally went on stage. She introduced me. We had the whole segment. Thank you very much. And then we took a picture afterwards. Like, that was it. Like, the whole thing was not her. The whole thing was my journey. And I actually had the whole audience stand up and shake it out and do somatic stuff. And like, it was so fun. So fun. I'm like, I'm just going to do what I do. Like, and we did script part of it because it was a segment that had to be a specific time. And it almost got canceled because they actually, I was in California, everything was booked, and I got a call from another producer, and she's like, we're going to change this a little bit. Do you still want to come because it's going to be shorter? I'm like, yes. Like, of course.
Yeah.
I'm already there. Like, I'm already there. She's like, great, thanks for being flexible. And I still did it, and it was like, it was very easy at that point to say, oh well, I guess not. But I was like, nope, I am in. I know what I'm wearing, let's go. Like, and so it was just such a growth opportunity and such a growth moment, because I could have said no at any point. I could have not thought it was real. I could have not taken the call. I could have all those things. But I remember, like, I went out with my best friend. We went out to like this Restoration Hardware, has this gorgeous rooftop restaurant in the city, and we're like, it's all crystals and champagne. I'm like, oh, I'm so proud of myself. Like, I just get emotional because so often we talk ourselves out of that thing, and whatever that thing is for you, like the bigger thing, the bigger journey, the bigger yes, or even applying to speak somewhere, which I've done before too. Like, you can just talk yourself out of it by not being ready. And was I ready? I don't know, because I've never done it before. So I didn't know if I'd be
Mhm.
ready until I hit the stage. And I was still nervous. I was like, I had to really, really coach myself and all my tools the entire time, but I just had fun with it. And I afterwards it was so important just having done it and gone through it and celebrating it and being who I was in the process of becoming that person that was able to step on and do the thing. That was more important than actually the thing, which actually, because of the pandemic, it never aired. And I remember going back to my coach, who was this incredible, like, her whole thing was capacity. Like, I got that opportunity while I was coaching with her. And she's like, look, you have pictures of you on stage with Mel Robbins. You have the experience, you have the story. Like, that did not happen for no reason. Because I was like, well, why did that happen? I was so confused. I'm like, why did they cancel the show? Like, they didn't even air it. I kept searching and searching and searching. Well, I was literally March of 2020. March of 2020, like right before they shut down New York. And I was like one of the last flights, one of the last episodes, if not the last. And I'm like, I was so confused. I'm like, did the universe make a mistake? Like, she's like, no. And every year I post that picture. Actually, right now, today, like it was right now was when I was planning it because it happened in March, like that
Mm.
many years ago. And I'm like, every year I repost it. And every year I'm like, look, this is what I did. And I share a story about it on reflection. And every other, like, oh my God, that's so amazing. Because it was there. And because my best friend was there, she captured all the pictures of me live in the moment on stage with all the cameras and Mel Robbins. And so that was, it happened. Like the fact that it didn't get aired wasn't even the point. It's the fact that I had the process of the experience. I grew. I was able to think like, well, if I could do this, I could probably do other things too, and just go with it. Like as nervous as I was able to like center in, get out there. I didn't lose my voice. Like I just did it. And I have lost my voice before for other things because I wasn't
Mm.
physically ready, but I was ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably because you were so like back to the hair comment, like you were so confident
Right.
and direct with what you were doing that it couldn't get lost. It
Right.
couldn't fuck up,
Yeah,
essentially, you
totally.
know, because you were just so committed to what you were doing and educated and you knew about what you were speaking
Right.
about.
Exactly. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And well, and what a great experience to go through. And obviously, yeah, bummer, but like all of the lessons learned is unforgettable.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, and it goes into, I'm sure, what you coach, how you are, the way you carry yourself, like all of the things.
absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for
Mhm.
asking. That's a good question.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's an exciting thing. Yeah, I don't know who Mel Robbins is other than her podcast being like a number one podcast,
Mhm.
but I'm like, well, who the heck is she? Yeah, how did she get it? You know, like who is she? Like who was she?
Yeah.
I didn't know anything
Yeah,
about her. I still
she
don't know
she was
anything
just a
about her.
coach and she thought the TV show was her thing. And for years she wanted to do a podcast but couldn't make the time. And because the show got canceled, she finally had the time to do her podcast, which is now like much bigger than the TV show ever was. And which
Mhm.
speaks to the fact that you never saw it was a daytime show. Like some people saw it, some people didn't on a
Yeah.
network, on like NBC or whatever it was. And now it's like worldwide. Like that pivot for her was devastating, and it put her exactly where she meant to be.
Yeah,
What a,
and
that I mean,
huge.
that's a bigger story there for sure.
Absolutely. And I think we all have those moments in life of like, this wasn't done to me, this was done for me. And what can I take from that?
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think on that note, we will wrap this episode up. I think that was like a great way to put it. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your knowledge, like what you embody and just putting it out there. Thank you for what you contribute to the world and us entrepreneurs that are on a journey. And I really appreciate your
Oh,
time.
thank you. And just to say, like, we'll definitely wrap up because we've been going for a long time, which I knew was going to happen because we
I just looked at the clock. I was like, oh my God, we've been like,
Um,
just
when you
going.
walked in that room at the dinner, I was totally, I'm like, yep, we're going to vibe. Like, I just knew it right away, too. And I think that speaks to so much of, bringing all of us to wherever we are. Because I could have easily worn something different, or you worn something different, or like toned it down. And I love that little furry jacket you had, which I commented on right away. And I'm like, I'm going to wear the dress. Like, that's what I'm going to wear. Like, I want to wear, like, I just, so I think the more we can bring all of us to whatever we do, even if we don't know exactly why we're doing it yet or how it's going to end or how it's going to shift, I think that's the biggest messaging hack ever. It's like, be the weird, be who you are, wear the red lipstick, do whatever you want with your hair, like be the most version of you as you're becoming it. And I guarantee you that will start to attract people, even if your message is not correct yet, whatever correct
Yeah.
means. Right. So,
Not for long
yeah.
though, if people are working with you.
Oh,
So
thank you. Thank you.
how does my audience get a hold of you?
Yeah, the best way is Instagram, Elena_Lipson. I also have a website, elenalipson.com. I have some cool quizzes. A lot of it is around decision making and intuition. The messaging piece is there's a one-on-one link. But if you don't know like where to start, just message me on Instagram. I don't have any chat bots. It's all me. So leave a voice note, leave a text if you have any questions around what it could look like to work with me on messaging. I do one-off sessions, which I really love, and I have a really detailed questionnaire that in itself is super helpful. And then we can just see what the right next step is. So I'm really nice to work with. I do get a little bit snippy sometimes, but no, actually, I'm really easy to work with. I'm very flexible, but I'm also very dedicated to, like, you need to be ready to do the work, and it's fun. I think it's fun. So yeah,
Yeah, I think that's too what align me with you as well is I appreciate somebody's directness in their zone of genius, but it's coming from the heart. So it's to me those three things mixed together is like, yep, that's a yes for me. That's what I
yeah,
want because
awesome.
I want to be guided and told what to do by somebody who's farther along in that than I am, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, we all need some help sometimes. I need help all the time. So for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being
Thank you
here.
for
I
having me.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much.